everyone. Today on Hello Susan, we're using our faux handmade paper to make tags, excuse me, and a little booklet. And I just have all the little bits and pieces laid out here I wanted to show you. I'm going to move them all out of the way so we can get started. But before I do that, I'd like to share a couple of things that I've done. You know, we did the glittered butterflies. Remember? But that's the resin and the glass glitter. Well, I decided to try some flowers. Look at this. Whoops. Well, there we go. Isn't it gorgeous? So those are morning glories, and then I did a little bit of cherry blossoms, because those go with the kit. And I did a couple of more butterflies. Aren't they beautiful? Okay, and let me show you just one more thing, and then I'll get this cleared away. This is how I used some of the glittered resin flowers in my book. Look at this. Oh, there you go. Isn't that fabulous? Just fabulous. I just love it. That's my most favorite page so far. Okay, so let me move everything out of the way, and then we'll get started making these tags. Okay, so I got a lot of that cleared away, and I'll put a link in the description box to the faux handmade paper, and I'll also put the video link of the resin glitter butterflies, just in case you missed them. Then it'll be easier for you to get to. Now this tag is already completely finished. I was gonna put a fairy on it. You know what? I think oh, I'm good. It's just when I hold it up. Okay. I was gonna put a fairy on it, but I think that the paper is so gorgeous. All the flower petals, can you see them? And then this is the tea grounds. Oh, I just love it. And I did ink it, so it distressed it a little bit. I put some netting that's got glitter at the top, and a bird, and then this little ribbon flower, and then put some leaf trim here and some flower trim here. And that one is done. I just really didn't want to cover up that paper, and I think it's just gorgeous on its own. So I'm going to set that aside. And let's go ahead and do this big one first. I've got a little fairy to put on there. I've got some silk flowers. I got these at Dollar Tree, so nothing expensive there. I've got this butterfly that's like a applique. We're going to put that up there. I've got the flower that came with that, and some lace. All right. I'm having a little bit of struggles with it being so warm now. My glue wants to get stopped up, but just wanted to warn you just in case I have to unstop it. I seem to have to put the lid on it continuously now, and not just when I'm done. But I'm sure all of you are having the same issues. Okay, so we're going to put this lace at the bottom. And I don't want to go too far to the bottom. I just want it to be right at the edge, because this is going into a pocket, and I don't want it to have wear and tear on the edge, or even fold up on the edge. So we're going to do that. Then the next thing I want to do is put these leaves on. I'm using the underside because this side is so shiny, and I did ink these to try to knock back the color a little bit, but it goes great with the book. I'm having such a good time making these fairies. It is a lot of fussy cutting, but I am enjoying it, so I'm not going to complain. Sounds like I am, but I'm not. And this is the paper that we used with the stamped with archival ink, the butterflies. And then see this, you know, in the video I was calling these the Lily of the Valley. That is not Lily of the Valley, that's Lily of the Nile. Okay, we got that one on. I got to make sure I'm doing this just right. I want this one to be kind of over here like this. kind of dry fitted it when I was figuring it all out. So I'd like for y'all to comment. I'm not getting very many comments. I'm getting lots of views, so that's a good thing. But I'm just not getting so many comments, and I would like to have a little bit more, if you wouldn't mind. Just helps me know that I'm on the right track and that you're enjoying it. Okay, let's see how that is with the flower. And this was all put together, and I took it apart. And I want it to kind of stand up, so I'm just going to do the center. There we go. See, now it's three-dimensional. And I may have to do a little bit more gluing on the edges just so it can be three-dimensional but not too floppy. But we'll see. Leaf shed a little bit there. Now I'm going to put this one, and I'm going to make sure that I place it to where the petals go inside of the other one, so it's not just lined up. Well, one good thing about summer is the glue does dry a little bit quicker. Whoops. Came right up with my finger. Okay, now let's go to the fairy. These are so cute. I mean, I just really had a hard time choosing which ones to use because they were so cute. And I printed them out the regular way, and then I mirrored them all because depending on the page that I was putting them in, they had to be facing different ways. So I did lots of printing too. Okay, let's see where we need to put this. I don't mind that flower being there. There we go. That's a good place for her. Now look at that. Didn't that just come alive when you put that little fairy on there? And I've already inked all the edges. Let's put this butterfly on. See how far down we're going to glue that. Some of the things that I thought I was going to do in this book, I'm not doing. It's like it's taking a life of its own. The more I do, the more ideas I get, and I change my mind about what I had thought I was going to do all along. That in the center. I think I need to put something right there in the center. Let me see what I have. I wonder if one of these could go there. Oh, let's put that. That's one of those resin glitter flowers. Ooh, that's pretty, isn't it? Okay, let me put this over here so it can be drying, and we'll go to the next one. Now this one's going to be very simple. I just felt like this tag was just beautiful. Now I did use a punch to get my top going there. And I've got these leaves, and I had to ink them up pretty good because see, they're mint green. And that's really not the color that we're going with in this journal. We're going with more of the grass green and lime and olive. So we're just going to glue this down. Just like that. And I've got this little flower that I took apart and got that at Dollar Tree too. And we're going to set that right there. And then I've got the little ribbon flower. We can use that for the center, and I did ink it too to knock it back just a tiny bit. And then I inked around the edges of the tag. So that's tag number 2, but look how beautiful this paper is, and it feels so good. It's so textured, you know, and it's so pliable. It kind of, the glue kind of makes it turn into something that feels kind of like fake leather or something, because it gets so pliable. Okay, let's set that one over there. Now I've got this little book. I started to make a tag, and when I folded it over to cut it, I thought, oh, that's going to make a very cute little book. So I decided to do that. So I went ahead and put on a lace trim for the binding. And I really don't want to cover up this one either. But I've got some great trims that I think are going to work on it. Look at that. It's got some beading. And one thing that I have learned about this trim, because it's not like they just sewed this one and tied it off and knotted it. So what I've been doing is putting glue on the backs of all of them and letting them dry. And that way when I cut them apart, none of the beads are flying off. Okay, so I've got a little girl for the inside. Let's do the inside first. And I went ahead and made the little tablet, and I just took pieces of paper, folded it accordion style, and then cut the edges. So then that gave me all these sheets. And then I inked around it, and I put some seam binding right there. This right here is a stencil. Remember I showed you the stencils in my supplies section when I was telling you some things I was going to do. Got that off of Amazon. So I went ahead and stenciled that so that page would not be bare. But let's get this little girl on. I mean the little fairy. And then I'm going to show you where I'm going to put all of these in the book. And that way you'll also get to see some of the pages that I've finished. I'm not finished yet with the journal, but I'm working on it every day. I put a few hours in. Okay, this right here, I want to go over here so because it looks like she's pointing to something. And that's something that I tried to do in all of the book as I'm making the pages, is I'm trying to get the pages to play off each other. And if the fairy is doing something, then I want to give her something to focus on. And some of the pages, it's real cute, like this one would be looking this way, and then on the facing page I might have a fairy looking back at her. Alright, now here's another one of those glitter resin flowers, and I want to put that at the top where the seam binding is. Oh, that's so pretty. Just love it. And then that'll be the first page of that tablet. And then the rest of the pages you can just flip it up and write on it. Okay, so on the outside, I want to put this trim. And I want to put that right there on the edge, because I really don't want to cover this up. I'm having a hard time with that. Okay, let's put some glue. But I do want to make it be whimsical and fairy-like, so that's why I want to keep adding things to it. But oh, this would just be beautiful just like that in just a regular journal. Okay, let's get this centered from top to bottom. Not too sure I have it. Got a little bit too far over. Okay, and then I have a butterfly that I want to put on here. I thought about putting one of the glitter butterflies on, but it was too clashy with this and then with this going on. So I'm just going to stick that right there. I didn't want to cover up all those pretty flower petals. Oops. And I'm just going to glue the center so that it kind of, the wings are just kind of up on the edges. All right, let's put this one right there. You know, I've been using these big clamps too doing this book because they reach a little bit further than these small clamps. Okay, so these should be ready for me to put in. I'm going to let that dry. I'm going to bring the book in and put them in the pages that I want to put them in. Okay, I've got paper clips marking the pages. Whoops. Some of my things I got to glue in still. Well, there we go. This one right here, I want to put in this pocket. I can take that off now. Look how cute that looks in there. Okay, see, here's another one of those resin glitter things, and look at the little envelope. It's got tiny little tags in it, see? So much fun. And little birds. Okay, let me stay focused. This one right here is where I want to put this one. And I'm just going to paper clip that on. But let me get a prettier paper clip. I've got these brass ones that I think will look good. I'll keep an extra one out. Okay. Let's see, where are we going to paper clip it in? I think over here. That looks gorgeous, doesn't it? See, this little girl now is looking over at that frog. I'll have to work on getting that other clamp and clamping that one down just a little bit so it can dry. Okay, so we've got this booklet. Go ahead and take that off. That should be dry. And that's dry enough. And let me find the other page that's got the paper clip poking out. Right there. And we're going to set this one down in there like that. We can take that out now. And see, here's another page with the fairy. And see, she was holding something else. I think she was holding a flower or something. But I put a bird in her hands instead. And I'm doing lots of stardust on the wings. Let me move this over just a little bit. See, we're not going to get to see that butterfly, but that's okay. Get that surprise when you pull it out. Okay, well, that's it for making some of those tags out of the faux handmade paper. So let me move my book out of the way. Well, I guess I could just leave it there. Okay, well, that's it for me today. Thanks for joining me. See you next time. Bye-bye.